Welcome back to Spent Too Much Diecast. What is going on, crew? Welcome back to the channel. To all my returning crew members, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. Welcome to Spent Too Much Diecast. We do lots of diecast unboxings on here. Matchbox, Hot Wheels, Jada, Fast and the Furious, FanHome, which is right here, full cases, full collections, all that good stuff. But we are working on our Fast and Furious build of Brian's Nissan Skyline GTR R34. So we're going to be doing a couple of different episodes in this video. We just got finished doing up to 32, which you can kind of see in the back here. We did a little bit more work on the motor. We got the front seat done. We started the radiator and the firewall. So we are going to be continuing on for the next 2, 4, we got 6 builds here, and then I do have the next box that goes up to 44. So definitely, if you guys are enjoying this build, down in the description will be the playlist for all of them, so you can go back to see some steps you might have missed. We're not doing it all on camera. We are cutting out and back and forth, especially if you guys remember on that last build where we added all these hoses. That was pretty tedious, and it's hard to capture all that stuff on camera, but you can kind of see the before and after on it, and then I kind of explain how I do it in case you guys are building it, give you guys some information. So let's just quickly go through what we're going to be doing in this video. Again, all the books do have information on Nissan and the movie, but we want to see what we're doing. All right, so we are going to be starting with the brakes in this one. Looks like we're going to be doing the master cylinder, the brake servo, vacuum lines, all that good stuff. So we're going to start with, looks like, the brake system, getting that on. Now we're going into issue 34. Guessing it's probably going to be along the same lines. Here's some more information on the movie, information on Nissan, the Nismo story. All right, looks like this one we're going to be doing the battery parts, probably adding the battery box and all that kind of stuff to the motor. Ooh, we might even be actually getting the motor put in to the car. All that is going to be nice. Then we're on to 35, the launch of the 9th generation Skyline R34. DK, the Drift King. 1990 All Japan Sport Prototype Championship. The last rear wheel drive Bluebird. And this looks like we're going to be doing the front part of the bodywork, part 1. Yeah, this engine is definitely going in on this build. Then we're on to issue 36. Again, more stuff on the car. Part 2 on that, the turbocharged 5th gen. And here's the second part of the front part of the bodywork. Ooh, looks like we got some carbon fiber parts. Definitely coming together. All right, 37. We are going to be doing the rear subframe and brake lines. All right, adding some brake lines in. All right, and then the last part of this build, issue 38. Ooh, that is nice. The one-off Nismo Skyline GTR LM road car. Ooh, that is a nice looking Skyline right there. The cars of Tokyo. The sedan born in the Japanese economic boom. And here it is. We are ending it with the rear knuckle. So we're going to be starting some rear parts as well. Alrighty, this should be a fun build. So what I'm going to do as usual, as you can see back there, all their parts are in the plastic. We're going to go ahead and get everything unboxed, get it out. Alrighty guys, and we are back. So I do think we're going to need the front end here, but I don't think we're going to need the seats. So I think I'm going to put the seats off to the side just so we can get a little bit more room. All right, so we're starting with the brake servo. We are pulling out the firewall from the last build, and we're going to get right into it here. So it looks like we have the master cylinder, or the reserve cap is going to be going, let's see, on to the top of this here. So there is that part, and then that part there is going to be going into the firewall. And let's see, looks like it is going right there. And the nice thing about these pieces is most of the time there is an angled version of where it should go. All right, then we are going to do the check orientation. All right, so it looks like we're going to be making sure this is the correct way, but we have it facing this way. And then this looks like it is going to go here because the little notch looks like it's on this side. And then this is going to get screwed in, and it looks like this is actually the only part of this build that's actually screwed on. Seems like everything else is going to be snapped. So let's get this on here. Like I said, I'll try to do as much as I can on camera for you guys. Some of the stuff I do have to do off camera, just so I can get a better angle or view on it. And I really don't want to make these videos that long. I think they're like anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how the build looks. But there it is. There's the washer fluid. There's the reservoir cap. That is whatever this is, the servo. All right, next, it looks like we're going to be taking this piece here, which is the brake pump, and insert it into the servo. Hope I'm saying that right, S-E-R-V-O, servo. So there we go, that's snapped in there. Now we're going to be inserting the 2 pins of the brake fluid reservoir. So here's the reservoir. It's nicely painted white, and I don't think there's a difference of which way it goes. So we'll snap that on there. Oh, I see, it angles away from the, if you were to do it this way, it angles away. And then here is the cap in yellow. Oh, that's nice. All right, now we're going to be running some hoses. So we're going to have to bring, let's move this motor off to the side, because I think put the radiator off to the other side. Here is the front of the vehicle, and it looks like we're going to be running some hoses. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. All right, so it looks like it's going from the end. Oh, you're off camera. Where are we? Here we go, down here. All right, it looks like we're going from the end of this, and it's going to wrap back around to be fed down into that hole, it looks like. So we have 2 pipes. Are they both the same length? Okay, one is bigger and one is smaller. All right, so which one are we going with? We are going with the smaller one, it says. All right, so that is going to be connected here, slides right on, and that is going to go this way. And no, that can't fit there. That's going to be too small. Oh, it just kind of fits there. It doesn't go anywhere. So it goes from there into that hole. Is that what I'm assuming? No, it doesn't. Ah, I see. It goes into this notch, which I'm guessing is the first notch. There. Oh, that makes more sense. Duh. And then probably the other one is going to go, and it says actually to put it in the first hole. So the first hole right there. Okay, that makes a little more sense. All right, and then the second one is going, the second one now is going from the second hole and that is going to run down here to this little notch right here. So they don't actually go anywhere. They're just there for show. There we go. There is the step. All right, now it says the vacuum, insert the pivot on the vacuum tank, which looks like is going to be over here. Here is the vacuum tank, and that looks like that is going to go into that hole with the two notches facing outward. Correct? Correct. Perfect. All right, and that just fits in there. Now we got to turn the page. Not bad, not bad, guys. Moving along pretty quick on this one. All right, looks like we got the 2 more steps on this one. And we are taking the battery box, or I don't remember what this is. Oh, the ABS module. Okay, and we're adding the canister on the back here. There we go. That was the step. And then this one is going to get put back here. Just like that. Alrighty. And what is this other part? Did I miss something? Oh, it's a hose clamp. Okay, where did you miss where the hose clamp goes? Oh no, it says keep the vacuum line fixture for a later stage. So that's this piece here. See, I hate when they do that. Save for a later date. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put it in there. Snap that in. And there you go. There is build number 33. So now let's go on to 34, which I have here. We'll cut out for a little bit, get all this unboxed, and then we'll come back. So this is what we're doing now. This is issue 34. This is going to be the battery. All right, so it looks like we're starting off with this piece here, and we're adding a cap to it, which is actually in a bag, which is pretty nice. All right, got that snapped on. Had to use a little bit of force, but we got it on. All right, so now we're gonna need the front of the thing again. All right, so it looks like this is going to be placed back here. All right, that seems to be in, and then it looks like we are taking the battery and putting it in right behind it. That is in. All right, we got that, and then looks like we're going to be building the battery terminal, or the positive. So they gave us this here, so here is the battery. Maybe it's a battery, I don't know what it's considered. We are insert the end caps for the airbox. That was the battery, this is the airbox. All right, and then there is a other part on here. Ooh, it actually says Nismo on it. Very small, but it is on there. Is this direction? Let's get it so it's straight. All right, that is that. That gets attached in the front, which is right there. Perfect. Nice, very good. All right, now we're moving on to secure the fuel lines. Oh, that was what that other thing was. Maybe? Secure fuel lines. Oh no, they gave us pieces for that. All right. See, now why couldn't this be done in that other build? Why is that for this build? But we're basically taking, oh, you're not even gonna be able to see that. They're so small. These little clips here and attaching them to the brake lines like this. And I will say it is a lot easier on a real car. All right, it said to put one back there, and then they gave us another one which says to basically put it in the middle here. So that's what we'll do. There we go. All right, now we are on to putting the motor in. Oh, yes. All right. We have some parts of the motor to put in. All right. This thing is going to be crazy because this thing is huge. All right. So it is saying that we're going to slide it in. Here we go, guys. Here we are dropping the motor in. All right. And it's telling us down here in the front, there is a hole right there that this part is going to fit into the hole on the firewall. Alrighty, guys, we're going to record some of this on 0.5, so hopefully it doesn't distort it too much. Okay, so basically what I did was I disconnected this and this piece, these two pieces, and I fit that in snug first, and then I dropped the engine in, and then I reconnected that. That's the best way to go because that is actually a really nice snug fit. So that is what we did there. All right, and then it looks like we're taking an AM screw and we're going to be attaching one of the engine mounts to the bracket. So, and that looks like it's going to be down here. So you can see down in there. See that engine mount bracket? That is going to be attached down there, and it looks like we probably have a hose we got to put in there, so that's going to be the next step. And we are back. I apologize for not doing it on camera, but there is the motor that is dropped in. We basically, you can see right there is one of them, and the other one was down there, but we have two of the engine mounts which have secured the motor. So the motor is in there. Next up, we are going to be attaching the air cleaner, which I think is this tube here. And we are going to be attach the air pipe. Is there, well, I have two of them. No, that's going to be, yeah, it's got to be this one. So it's actually a hose. And it looks like we are attaching it to one of these red pieces. So there we go. There is one part that is going to be going behind the looks like it's going right here on the intake on there. Okay, that's going to work better. So we attach that there. That is going to that there. And we're going to have to bend it, it looks like, because it's going to be attached to this first one here. There we go. All right, and then we're taking the second one, which is a longer hose. That gets attached here. And that is going to run to the back of the motor back here. Guys, this is connected to this, and then that is, oh my gosh, If I were just to read the directions, crew. Why was that harder than it should have been? I have no idea. All right, now this should fit in there nice and snug, which it does. All right, so there we are. We got the hoses there, the hoses there. Let's see, now we're going on to the last part of this build. Oh, we still got a lot to do on this build. All right, we're gonna be adding in the radiator. All right, wasn't expecting that. All right, this looks like it's going to fit in. Is it on the bottom side? Okay, it's on the bottom side. Yep, okay. Try not to touch the motor, but basically it looks like it's gonna lift straight up like that. So we got that all done. Basically, I had to connect the upper radiator hose, and then if you flip it around to the bottom, there's the rear radiator hose, which seems to have popped back out. Oh, there we go. All right, that's popped back in, and then there's 2 screws on the bottom holding the radiator in. This engine is still kind of wompy in there because it hasn't been held in yet from the bottom. Now we're going to be basically just attaching the hose on this part of the radiator here. Take it off. God, that's a little hose. All right, put the hose in there, put the radiator cap back on, and that is basically our final stage. We did not do anything with this big piece, so that's going to be put off to the side. But there we go. Basically, we have the engine inside of the vehicle. And like I said, it's going to have to attach back here because it still wants to fold down, so it should sit up a little bit more. But there you guys go. We do have the motor finally in the car, and we're going to continue the build here next episode. So that was 34. Now we're going to be doing issue 35. Alrighty guys, let's continue and move right along here. Alrighty, so we are now on the stage 35, issue 35, where we're going to be starting the front part of the body. And it says number 1, so this should be a two-part thing. We're going to start with the radiator support, turbo outlet, pipe, and a bunch of other stuff. Alright. So first of all, looks like we are putting together the exhaust valve. So with this being this way and this going this way, we're going to fit that together. Is there? All right, and now this is going to attach to the front right here. Alrighty guys, that got on. Went right there. Not sure why we didn't put that on earlier, but that's where it goes. Alrighty, now it looks like we're gonna start putting together the turbo pipes. So it looks like we have this one here with this one being connected to it. They don't screw in or anything. It looks like they just pop in. And they're twin turbo. Nice. Okay, that was one of them. And then here is the second one. Very carefully so we don't break it, because that's about the type of build this is going for. Come on. There we go. All right, there are the two pipes. Now it's telling us to connect the two pipes. And it is notched a certain way, so you can only do it one way. There you go. There is the pipe. All right, now we're going to try to fit this in. All right, so it looks like it's going to connect to the front here. And there's a notch back there. Alrighty guys, we got that on. So let's just zoom in here and I'll kind of show you. But basically this is your pipe. It connected to the top of the first turbo, which is back there. And then it connected to the top of the second turbo, which is right there. And then this is the air box, I'm guessing, or something to do with air exhaust. And then that hose actually goes under, so you got to make sure you do put your hose on top. But you can see they're connected to the first turbo, and then there it is there connecting to the second turbo. And then that piece just kind of sits down in there. And then this is how your tubes for the other part are ran. But that might have to get adjusted eventually. So there we go. Basically, that is the build. And then I did do the other two parts, which were absolutely nothing. It was putting a bracket there, that gets saved for next time. And then we did put on the two horns here, that gets saved for next time. And then we also have two radiator brackets, which gets saved for next time. So a lot of these parts are rolling over. All right, so I think we have two more parts to this build. Oh no, we have three more parts. All right, so now we're on 36, which is probably going to be the second part. Yep, here it is, bodywork part 2. So let me go get everything opened on this and then we'll come back. Alrighty guys, looks like we're going to be adding some cool features to this now. All right, so it looks like we're starting off with the secondary fan, which is right here and right here. And then I am going to need to screw the fan inside of there. Which will go like that. That is a secondary fan. And then it is saying, let's see, K&N up. That is getting screwed in somewhere over here. That is getting screwed in. It looks to be right there. All right, so there is that there. All right, and then it looks like we are going to be adding the horn, which looks to fit in. There's a notch there, and then it's getting a screw at the bottom. All right, that is attached, so that's what it should look like. You got the fan and the horn, and then we are finally going to be attaching this front bracket to the front of the motor. So get that out of the way. It says there's a couple of notches. AM screw is going to go here and here, and then everything else should kind of just fit in. Guys, we are back and we got it. That was kind of a pain, but I will say one thing on these brackets that we put on in the previous step. Make sure you look at them. There is a long portion of the bracket and a short portion of the bracket, so you want to make sure that you have the long part of the bracket going on the top here, otherwise it'll not fit. So basically 2 screws here, 2 screws here. We had to basically just kind of pop it in. My corner here was getting caught on the edge there, so you just kind of got to wiggle it in. All right, so now we're using these pieces from the other build, and these look like they are the radiator mounts. So looks like the circle part is on the radiator, So, oh, there we go. Pop that one in like that. And then this one should pop in on this side. Like I said, just be careful with this. Take your time, especially when you're screwing pieces in. Some of these pieces, sometimes the screws are hard to get in, but you don't want to over tighten anything because you don't want to break anything. All right, next up, looks like we're taking part of the radiator or the intercooler. So it looks like there's two pieces. Here's the outer. I'm guessing that is the inner. So it would go like that, but we have to screw the one in first. So it looks like, now this is going to be, you got to make sure that you line this one up too. Check the correct orientation of the part in the picture. Then align the two intercooler with AM screws, because it could go either. It looks like the screws are more towards the bottom than they are the top. All right, we got that screwed on. I'm having to do a little bit of this off camera just because this thing is so big that it's hard to get a good handle on it. And then here is the intercooler. This one should just snap into the plastic part, which it does. If this is the wrong way, we can always take it apart and put it back on. But there's the intercooler. All right, now it looks like we're putting some of this stuff together. So we did the cooler. Here is this part here, and it looks like I should have a little piece. Where is that little piece? All right, so we just read the book. So it says retrieve this part, the reservoir tank, from issue 20. So see, this is again when we're saving parts from other builds, and then so this was from 20 and we are now using it on 36. So why couldn't they just give us this piece today rather than having it for almost 16 issues ago? That's what I don't really like about it. But there is a certain notch on it that is half circled, so that is only one way you can put it on, hopefully without breaking it. Okay, so there is that step. That's the step. Now this is going to be attached in the airbox kind of thing over here. So we're probably going to be having some pipes coming through here. So place the air filter housing lower over the screw ports in the front of the wheel arch, and then secure with AM screws. And then there's going to be another part that goes over that. All right, so let me try to get this thing fit in. Oh, actually it'll go, oh, like that. All right, so that, there we go. That explains it. All right, so that, see the little notch there? And this thing, that is actually going to sit, and it just fell, so I'm going to have to fix it. It's going to sit on this part, and then when the cover goes over it, it'll connect that part, which should be this carbon fiber piece here will fit over it, which will then keep, see, that'll keep the top part in. So let me fix that, get everything screwed in, and then we'll come back. All right, guys, wasn't that bad. Make sure your silver pipe sits all the way against the fender wall there. That made it a little bit easier, and then it just kind of popped in. We have that sitting there. Was putting these two pieces together, so we got that done. Then that looks like it's going to snap in over here, and you can see there's a notch there. That's for where the radiator bracket is. All right, nice. So that actually fit in there perfectly. Then I got to turn the page here. All right, now this air cleaner or the air box, like I was saying, is going to go over it. So that notch here, I believe, is what should be on the top of there, and then everything should just pop in nicely. perfect. Look at that. Then that holds that piece in, and that snaps to there, which then snaps to there. And that is that. All right. Looks like we have 2 more steps to this one, and then we will be done. All right. Now we got the front. Says align the screw holes for the front circulation panel with the highlighted holes of the bodywork. All right, so this looks like it's going to go this way, carbon fiber up. And then you can see right here, there's the notch there, which was the fan housing. Then there's a hole there, notch there, hole there. So I am assuming that is going to fit right there, which would be the hood latch. And we got to attach that with some QM screws. That way it will not fall. All right, and there's the second one. So right there, nice, don't want to over tighten it. You are screwing plastic. So there is the sill there. And then we have this huge rod. Finally insert the 2 ends of the hood rod into the highlighted holes in the bodywork on the front panel. So the hook goes on this side and the other one goes here. So this is going to be your hood release. So eventually when we're done building, you'll be able to pull it up and use the hood. All right, so that is it. We do have this strut bar that also came with it. It is telling us to put the strut bar assembly off to the side for another build, and AP screws I didn't even use, so we'll save those as well. But basically, there is the build for this one, guys. We added the intercooler, we added the airbox, so we are getting there. So there is 2 more episodes still to go on this unboxing. So I'm going to go ahead, get everything kind of cleaned up, and get back to where we can have a nicer area to work. Alrighty, guys, we are back. Okay. I got everything out on the table. We got 2 more issues for this build, and then this video will be done. I know it's been kind of hectic. I've actually done this build in over 2 days just because it's been tedious and stuff like that. So this part, we're going to be working on the rear subframe and brake lines. And then I did pull out all the parts for the second one, which looks like it's going to be more suspension parts. So let's just go ahead and get into this. So we're going to be align the bracket 1 and 2 into the cylinder ends. So let's see here, we got 2 of these brackets. We got a right and a left. So let's see what all right, and then it says we have these. Are these left and right? All right, we got a left, we got left, left. So we do have these marked as left and rights. All right, so make sure C and D are lefts. Let's see, C is left and D is left. All right, so it looks like we're working all on the left side. Alrighty, guys, we got that all done. All right, so let me show you what's going on here. So you want to make sure that you have the L and then the 2 L's here, and you can see there's 2 different types of brackets. This one is square, this one is round. That is how it shows in the picture. So that is how you want to do that. And then I did the right side right away as well. Again, you have the same thing. This time it's opposite. You have the square on this side and the rounded one on that side. That is how it showed it in the book. And now we're going to be taking this cross member. So align the left lower cross member with the bracket. So it looks like the bracket goes this way. And then we're taking the left one, which is here. And that is going to be attached right here. And then that will get screwed in, which I'll do here in a second. And then we're going to take the right one and the same thing, these little notches down here. There's 2 of them that'll fit here. And then the screws will go in the other side to hold everything down. So that pops in there. And if they don't exactly fit in, you might have to loosen the screws a little bit to make sure they align. So you can see that popped in there. That one's popped in there. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and add the screws real quick, and then we'll come right back. Alrighty, guys. And that is it. So there you can see we have the screws put in there. Screws put in there. They do move a little bit depending on the suspension. It looks like the next episode is going to be a bunch of the suspension parts. So we'll put that off to the side. All right, now we're going to be working on some brake hoses. So we're retrieving this part that we had in another video. And then we got a whole bunch of brake lines here. So let's see. Retrieve the firewall assembly and attach it to the end of the brake lines. All are the same size for all 4 pivot brake pumps. So it's telling us that we're going to 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We are going to attach the brake lines to that, and then it looks like they all are going to get tucked in behind there. So let's see what we can do here. All right, so there are the 4 there. And then it's telling us that we have these 2 brackets that we had from the other video, or from another step. Looks like we're going to be needing these. So basically it looks like all these are going to be ran against the back firewall, and then those 2 brackets are going to go there and there to hold them down. So let's see what we can do. All right, sorry crew, I did have to do that off camera, but there you go. There is kind of what it is looking like. The brackets do sit in there nicely. I try to get it so it kind of looks pretty nice tucked in back there. And then there's the brackets, and then that comes out here. Now it looks like we're bringing the front end back out, and looks like we're going to be adding some more hoses, and then we'll be attaching that. So fit one of the ends of the vacuum line over the upper pivot and vacuum tank, the other end over the highlighted pivot of the engine block. Note that you must guide the engine line between 2 arms of the intake manifold. All right, I got part of it done, but I wanted to try to do the rest on camera for you guys. So I did get it in there. That was a pain. Kind of got to get it in there and then press with the pliers. But what I was saying about going through the manifold is it's this part right here. It actually has to go in there and then come out. Hopefully it does not pop off, because if it does, I'll have to redo it. But then basically it is going to attach to this thing, the front part. All right, so that is basically the hose. It looks excessively long, but that is how they wanted it to go. And I can already see it popping out at the bottom. Okay, so the next hose is going to go here. And then it says leaving that one free for right now. So eventually that'll attach to something. All right, now we are going to be putting in our firewall. So this looks like it is going to be going in this way. And of course, all these hoses are now going to be in the way. So we might have to rearrange that, but it looks like, Yep, see, it just popped out. That's gonna suck. I might have to do that after. But our firewall is basically gonna fit in there just like that. So go ahead, get those hoses connected. I will screw in the firewall and then we'll come back and finish connecting the rest of the hoses. Alrighty guys, we are gonna do a full recap here. I did end up just doing all this off camera. It was very hard. It was very tedious, but I will give you some of my tricks and stuff like that. All right, so remember how I said you had to put it down there through the manifest or the manifold? Basically, I did super glue that part on there. I just put a little bit of super glue on the edge of the hole or on the edge of the tube. I ran it down there. I held it in place for a little bit. I let it dry. It kept popping off. These hoses in the book makes them look very flexible, but they really don't bend like they should. Okay, and then that ran up and into the top of that. Again, I just put a little bit of super glue on it just to hold that hose intact. That seemed to work very well. And then we had to run the bottom, I'll try to point at this stuff, the bottom pipe without it like completely not blurring. So you can see there we ran the bottom pipe there. It said to let that just hang loose, which was fine. And then we connected the firewall. It's connected in the back with 2 screws down there, 1 on each side. So we did that. And then what we had to do was we had to fit that hose that was just hanging. That folded around and went into there, which held on pretty good. And then we had this bracket here from another build. It told you to snap that on and then to hold the tube in there, which now that tube's not going anywhere, but because I did super glue it in, that was pretty nice. And then we had all these brake lines that then went into here. 2 went into there, 2 went into there. It did label like where you're supposed to run them, like 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4 hoses. But honestly, you can't really tell what hose is what once you have them back there. So I just kind of ran them how I thought they would fit nicely. I ended up actually cutting 2 of the hoses to make them a little smaller, so we got this nice little bend here. Otherwise, this bend would be a lot bigger. And I was actually able to, since I cut that tube, I was actually to replace the injector tube there, which I lost. So that was pretty cool. I cut a big portion off of those tubes. Just make sure you guys know if you're going to cut them, that they're still going to fit, because you don't want to be short. But I think by cutting them a little bit, I think it ran a little bit better. And then these top ones, 1 went to here, 1 went to there. I mean, if you want to trim these a little bit, you probably could, but I think they fit decently back there. And then eventually we are going to have this strut bar that's going to go over the motor like that. So that'll hold down this tube and stuff like that. But if you guys start noticing your tubes popping out of these connectors, go ahead and just put a little bit of super glue and hold them in. So far I haven't noticed anything. I have noticed this one popped out once or twice. So if these keep popping out, then I'll just tack them down with super glue. These don't go anywhere. They're just for design. And then eventually this is going to have to go somewhere. We haven't connected that yet. So yeah, so basically here is the motor and how it's looking. Looks pretty good. So hopefully you guys are all caught up with these builds. Like I said, I still have a couple more with me. I have 39 through 44. So we'll go ahead and get those done as well. And then the end of this finale or end of this issue, it does say that this is going to be saved. So we actually have one more build out of this box, which is 38, which is going to be some more of those suspension. But I just wanted to give you guys just an update on how the engine is looking, because this thing I think is pretty much complete. The only thing we're going to have left to do, like I said, is I think put on this bar, but I think everything else up here is complete. So there is your complete look to the engine, which it looks awesome, guys. It's very tedious, very strenuous, especially for these little hoses. So just take your time. That's why a lot of this stuff I do unfortunately have to build off camera, just because I need it right up in my face, and I'm going there with tweezers. And I actually grabbed my wife's tweezers because these don't have enough pinching force when these do. So I'll have to get that back to her so she doesn't yell at me. So like I said, we have one more issue on this book, which is going to be the suspension. So we'll push that back there, and then we'll be able to finish this. And like I said, you guys, I do have some more, so we'll be able to do another one too. And I know I probably shouldn't have, but on some of these gray hoses as well, I did trim down just to make them fit better. You guys make sure you do all your test fittings before you cut them. I think sometimes they worked a little bit better cutting them, but then you don't want to cut them too short, and then you're trying to stretch them and then they don't stay in place. So here we go. This is 38. This is going to be the rear knuckle. I think we already did some of the front suspension. So again, I think a lot of this stuff I'm going to build off of camera and just get the stuff together, because we kind of did this on the first one, and I know it's a lot of tedious parts, but I will come back and explain everything, because again, you want to make sure you look out for your rights and your lefts. So definitely do make sure you read the book properly, and then make sure on here too, remember you do have a left and a right, because I'm assuming this is going to fit into the rear end a certain way. So I'll get some of these things built. We'll come back and take a look at them. I do want to say, though, thank you to all the crew members out there, everybody who has liked, subscribed, shared, all that good stuff. If you are new here to the channel, definitely hit the subscribe button. Join the Spend Too Much Diecast crew if you're liking this build. We're going to be building this all the way to the end. So if you do like these videos, definitely do that. It helps the channel, it helps everything out. I'm trying to keep these builds to at least a half an hour. Try not to go too much more over that, because I know they are long, and if you are building it along, hopefully I have some insight that'll help you guys build it as well. But let's get some of these built, and then we'll be back. Alrighty, guys, and we are back. All right, so I went ahead and did everything. I'll explain it all here, and then we have one more step, which is attaching these to the frame, which I'll try to do here on camera. All right, so basically you are starting it off with the left side. You'll see the left side there, and then we have this plunger that went through. We attached 2 brackets to it. You can see right there. And then we had this piece right here that went on it. You got to look at it because there are two different sides, but there is a groove in there that fits nicely. So you can only technically do you can only put the right piece on, otherwise it'll be facing the wrong direction. And then you have 2 of these arms. They are labeled as well, so we are working on the left side. So there's the left side. That goes there. So basically we screwed in those, screwed in the top part, and then screwed in this. Now this is going to attach to our left side would be on this side. That's going to attach to that. That's what we're going to do. And then we basically did exactly the same thing, but this time we did it for the right side, which you can see the R there. Same thing. We put this plunger piece in, attached it with the 2 brackets, then we put the other piece here, screwed that in, and then we got the other arm and screwed it into there. So now it's going to be 2 screws to get this to attach to this side, and then again we do have the left and the right. So basically this is going to be your hub. So I think the way it fits is, you can see in there's a little notch, and then you do have a little notch on there. So that notch basically is going to sit in like that. And then basically you're going to put this piece in here. And sometimes they are a little bit of a tight squeeze because it is painted. Sometimes you got to push it in and out a couple of times until a little bit of the paint, see, like that, rubs off. That's just basically how it has to happen in order for the screw to get in there. So it looks like we have a solid hole all the way through. Perfect. Like I said, it's a long screw because you're screwing everything through, and then this did pop back out, which is fine. So we will reattach that. And then if we flip that over, that is going to get a screw as well. Perfect. I don't tighten anything super tight that way. There we go. We have the left side with the movement, because this is considered like the knuckle or whatever it is. So it should be able to move freely, which it does. And then basically now we're going to repeat the same thing for the other side. You can see there's the indentation, which should have that on the bottom. So that looks like it'll fit there. And then this again will fit in here. All right, there we go. That sits flush. That sits flush. All right, so basically there we go. There is going to be the rear suspension. If you guys do remember, it does kind of look like the front end. When we did the front end here, we already have the shocks on and everything like that. So this one is a little bit different with the front end compared to the rear end. But so I am guessing that it's going to say now save this for a later build. Yep. So there we go. Got the screws in, got everything in. Final assembly. Which there it is. All right, guys. So there is this build. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I know some of these videos do get a little bit long and tedious, but there's a lot of going on with the build. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So this thing is coming together nicely. I'll just go ahead and show you here are the seats. So eventually, look, that's going to get attached there. We're already starting the rear suspension. Should we put the bumper up against it? Here's your front bumper, which will sit there like that. We do have the hood. So see you guys, it is coming together nicely. Look how big that thing is going to be. That thing is ginormous. Here's a Hot Wheel car, just for comparison. This thing is massive, guy. Oh, this thing is going to look so nice at the end. And I even think there's a lighting kit and everything that goes with it. So there you guys go. There is the unboxing slash build. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I am having fun building this. Can't wait to do more. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for watching again. Another video here at Spent Too Much Diecast. Thank you, crew. Thank you for everything. Look forward to growing this with everybody else. But until next time, everybody have a great day. Bye.